Hi and welcome. Have you ever been so drained you're too afraid to go to bed? Just because, the moment your head touches the pillow, well, a sound of anxious thoughts arrive. That was me. That's wide-eyed at 2 a.m. in the morning, praying my heart would just stop racing. If that scene feels eerily familiar to you, stay with me. We need to talk about some true workplace burnout because it's everywhere and how to reclaim your life as well before your body pulls the emergency button or breaks, whatever you want to call them. Hi, I'm Corina, and today we are stripping away the corporate spin just to expose what severe workplace burnout really feels, is like in the body, in the mind, and actually why employers really and rarely protect us. Burnout isn't a kind of a stress. It's a slow roast, a slow roast of nervous system, that begins the moment doing your best turns into surviving the day. It creeps in during the impossible 12 to 16 hours shifts, sold to you as a team spirit. We are in it together. We are working for the benefit of us all. Yeah, right. As if I'm the owner of the company and I'm getting the dividend at the end of the year. Of course I'm not. But the request is brutal. And this is when the phones as well are expected to glow long after the office hours are already finished. And, every ping suggests, hey, you're only lucky to be employed, to have a job. Isn't it great? The danger grows in cultures where fear based managers rule by intimidation. And also, psychological safety, it's a forbidden phrase, forbidden set of words. Saying at my limit feels like a career suicide, so limits go unspoken, while energy drains away. Yeah? And let's be clear, burnout isn't just a matter of workload. It isn't. It's a mulch consisting of the daily dosage of ageism, racism, workplace bullying, extra work, the usual systematic pressures that siphon confidence and dignity until the body just keeps the score. It does. Naming these hidden stressors is the first step towards reclaiming the well-being and reclaiming who we are. And it's, like sort of starting to draw some healthy boundaries before this slow roast turned us into ashes. So let me give you some examples, and also let me know if they resonate with you. I'm really curious to hear that. I really am. So, for example, heavy limb fatigue. Yep, this one hits first. Lifting a dinner plate felt like lifting concrete. Suddenly it was heavy, or heavy legs, each step feeling like, you're going through molasses. Then came the fuzzy head. And the cafe menu, turned into the algebra, and just looking at it and thinking soup or salad or soup or coffee maybe. And it was like an unsolvable quest. Yeah. Nights offered no truce. No. The moment lights went out, my thoughts started a midnight sprint, leaving me hyper alert. Yeah, hyper alert and wide-eyed until dawn. By day, you carry on, pushing yourself all the time. And not only pushing, but punishing yourself for not doing things faster, like you did before. And as for social life, what social life? More like a shutdown. I ghosted friends because a 2-minute chat drained more than an Excel spreadsheet. And their cheerful voices, beautiful as they were, scraped raw nerves. I didn't know I even had. Even a gentle 30-minute walk, which before it was a piece of cake, now was like doing the marathon, and I needed 2 days to recover. Yeah. So slow motion, that's what the whole world went to me for me, a slow motion. And decision gridlock set in next. Choosing jumpers froze me. And answering to emails felt like, climbing. climbing a mega mountain like the Everest. And yet I did it because just like you, I had to. I did. What burnout did is stripped my essence, shrinking life to a grayscale. One page of a book, it was impossible. Cooking, dinner, are you kidding me? It was like a mountain. Catching a train into town or, out of a question. Yeah. Burnout whispered, oh, you still want life. Yeah, but your tank is just dripping fumes. Here's a cruel twist, just for you and me. For most people, even the kind ones who invite you out for some fresh air, they cannot imagine how Herculean those tiny acts feel. Their good intentions, they collide with the brick wall of your depleted body. And that gentle misunderstanding deepens. It deepens the isolation. I was already fighting to escape. Yeah. So let's talk about the harsh workplace truth as well. Let's be blunt, because we have to. Most companies optimize output. Yes, they do, but not well-being. HR posters, yeah, they make you whisper, oh, mindfulness, oh, they all talk about it. But this is where it ends, at the talking level. It's in this gap between the slogans and reality that we, the people doing the work, have to become our own gatekeepers. Because you know why? Because the system rarely will. I had to learn it really the hard way. And no job is truly secure. No, it isn't. It's a dream. Market shifts faster than loyalty contracts and contacts. Occasional overtime, that often translates to the unspoken norm. Yeah, the one you need to embrace with all your heart and with enthusiasm and with a lot of smiles and obedience, of course. Unpaid, yeah, forgot to mention. Of course, unpaid. And yeah, otherwise, consequences. Burnout is your body's wildcat strike. When the invoices keep coming, and the inbox keeps filling, your nervous system may be the only union brave enough to leave the building, to walk out. Recognizing this truth isn't cynicism, it's clarity. And clarity is step one. Yes, it is a step one towards setting boundaries. Boundaries that protect both your livelihood and your health. Yeah. Healing isn't about adding one more routine. It's about removing noise until you can finally hear yourself, your true self again. Let me tell you what real healing actually looks like for me. Spoiler alert, actually, it doesn't look like a Pinterest board, full of all of those color code habits. No, it looks more like a slow, terribly wobbly dance. Back to myself, back to yourself. Act one, let's say, radical slowdown. Yeah, picture this. I used to sprint. I used to sprint to the 16-hour workdays. Oh, yes, convinced momentum was, my magic cape. Yeah, and then my body staged a wildcat strike. Burnout. Overnight. Walking from sofa to cattle felt like Everest again. At first I called it failure, because we all do that. But in that stillness, I discovered something else. Repair happens in quiet, not in speed. I started timing life by deep breaths instead of deadlines. Act 2, a noise fast. Next came silence, I deleted every news app. Everyone. Removed all notification bells. What a blessing. Search for the gentle piano playlist, and I'm going to leave some links below, for those soothing sounds to retune my frazzled nervous system. Imagine shutting off a factory after hours. Suddenly you hear the birds, even the rain on the roof, even your own heartbeat. Gosh, you're still alive. Ha! Isn't it amazing? Let's go to Act 3, the micro-presence. Yeah. With the volume down, tiny moments lit up. One spoon of honey, swirling into my tea became a magical painting. Cooking a very, very simple meal felt like origami meditation. I moved from doing to noticing, and life, once grayscale, began to tint itself in color again. For a person in love with color, like I am, and I've always been, this was massive, a massive coming back to myself a little bit. Act 4. Speak up and opt out. Silence gave me a voice. I started to document my hours, naming toxicity aloud, setting boundaries that felt outrageous before. Now they were normal because my system was breaking down. And when the line between paycheck and health snapped, I had to walk out. A very dangerous move, I know. Carl Jung said, I'm not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become. Well, I'm in a transformation mode. Let's see what happens. These words became my compass. Radical slowdown, noise fasting, micro-presence, and the courageous opting out. Each step peeled back the clutter until I met myself again, unhurried and unafraid on some levels. Better said afraid, but I had to take that step anyway. If you're in the furnace of burnout right now, just remember, healing may feel like stopping, but stopping, it's the first movement. The first movement that was coming back to yourself, maybe for the first time ever. Thank you for listening. If this story resonated with you, share it, or share your own moment of subtraction and noise in the comments below. And as always, be kind to the only nervous system you will ever have. Do not wait until you are on your knees. Don't. I've been there. See you next time. And if this feels uncomfortably familiar, remember, productivity, it's replaceable. You are not. Years ago, one of my first bosses told us that nobody is irreplaceable. I have issues with that, and I want to talk about that statement. But the one who has the power will do what the hell they want. They will, regardless of anything else and everything. They will. So tell me in the comments your biggest burnout trigger. Just do that. Let's have a conversation. Until next time, be well.